For centuries, supernatural creatures have lived among us.
They were vampires, werewolves.
So, who remembers Twilight? Well, if you were a young teenage girl like me back then, it's almost impossible to forget. I remember having such an unhealthy crush on Robert Pattinson, and who can blame me? Look at him now. I was on the right side of history. I love that for me. But anyways, back to the topic of this video. Premiering on the CW just a year after the first Twilight film, The Vampire Diaries was a story about vampire romance, also based on a novel, which was written almost a decade prior by L.J. Smith for Alloy Entertainment. The Vampire Diaries is an American supernatural fantasy horror/drama TV show set in the fictional town of Mystic Falls, Virginia. It follows the life of 17-year-old Elena Gilbert, who falls in love with a centuries-old vampire named Stefan Salvatore and his brother Damon Salvatore, who is also a vampire. As a result, this draws Elena and her friends into the supernatural world of Mystic Falls, which is plagued by vampires, werewolves, witches, doppelgangers, and other mystical creatures. Just a quick side note, I remember being so convinced that Nina Dobrev and Victoria Justice were the same person, and no one could tell me otherwise. It was so uncanny. But now, looking at them, they almost look nothing alike. But I swear, for the first couple of episodes, I could not see a difference. I thought I was losing my mind. Was it just me? Let me know in the comments. Over 8 seasons, The Vampire Diaries gave us love triangles, ancient curses, vampire politics, and yes, way too many heartbreaking deaths. But it wasn't just a teen supernatural drama. It was a story about love, loss, redemption, and the lengths people will go to protect the ones that they love, or destroy them. Today, we are recapping every single season from the show, from Elena Gilbert's first journal entry to the series finale that left Mystic Falls forever changed. Whether you're a longtime fan or someone who just wants to understand the hype, this is the ultimate Vampire Diaries recap. Let's talk about it. Before we get into the recap, here are a few things that you should know about the vampires in this universe, because the lore tends to be different with each story of vampires.
You have to have vampire blood in your system when you die.
In this world, turning into a vampire isn't a simple process. You'd need to die with vampire blood in your system, and then you'd need to consume human blood within 24 hours of being turned, or you die for good.
I can't get into my house because my foot won't go through the door.
You have to be invited in.
I live alone.
In the Vampire Diaries, all vampires need to be invited in by the homeowner to be able to enter their house.
I have been sipping vervain every single day for the last 145 years.
Common mythology says that a vampire's worst enemy is garlic, but in the Vampire Diaries, they chose vervain instead. It's a herb that can be used to cause them a lot of pain or incapacitate them, mainly by burning them upon contact. Even vervain-infused water is deadly for them, and ingestion can weaken them for a while. As the series progresses, our main cast learn to consume it in very small amounts every day to build tolerance and become stronger in case of surprise attacks.
Harmful to vampires.
Like a stake to the heart?
Right, but it has to be wood.
In the show's universe, there are a couple ways to kill a vampire. You can either stick them in the heart with wood, knock their head clean off, or expose them to the sun, which burns them to a crisp. Luckily for our main vamps, the existence of witches makes their lives easier, as they're able to make daylight rings, which are spelled to protect them from the sun. Lastly, a bite from a werewolf can be deadly as it slowly kills them. Original vampires are different though, as they can't be killed with just any wooden stake. Stabbing them with a stake would just put them in a coma until the stake is removed. It would need to be wood from a specific tree that was used to create them. And if you are able to successfully kill an original vampire, all the vampires in their bloodline or created by their blood dies with them. In the series, vampires can heal serious injuries with their blood. Numerous characters would have died if it wasn't for the healing powers of vampire blood.
Can't get you dead, huh?
It might just be time to turn the switch off on your emotions.
After transformation, all of the emotions are heightened, which means guilt, remorse, and sorrow are magnified by vampires when they face loss. To combat this unbearable intensity of feelings, they have the option to flip the switch and turn off their humanity. This basically removes human emotions, allowing them to become full monsters without remorse. This usually allows our main cast to be bad for a few episodes and creates a source of drama. However, a much older vampire called Rose reveals that after a couple hundred years or so, that humanity switch doesn't really exist.
He was able to take away her memories of being bitten using a form of mind compulsion.
Lastly, vampires are able to compel humans by looking them in the eye. With mind control, they can get them to do whatever they want and even erase specific memories. Later on the show, it's revealed that originals are able to compel other vampires, but other vampires can't compel each other.
Pardon me.
Season 1, a simpler time before everyone died and came back like 5 different times. Season 1 begins with an introduction to Mystic Falls. We start off 4 months after the tragic car accident that killed the parents of our main protagonist and ultimate sad girl, Elena Gilbert. Her and her brother Jeremy are trying to move on as their cool but overwhelmed Aunt Jenna moves in to now take care of them. But everything changes when the mysterious Stefan Salvatore arrives in town. Unbeknownst to her, Stefan is a vampire, a brooding vegetarian vampire with a drinking problem, trying to live a peaceful life among humans. Elena naturally falls for him because, well, it's Stefan, and I completely hear it. I would have done exactly the same. Their love story is all about handwritten letters, longing glances, and the constant threat of Stefan accidentally turning her into a juice box. Not too long after, we meet the other Salvatore brother, Damon, who serves as one of the main villains of the season. A brooding, non-vegetarian vampire who thrives on chaos. The tension between the brothers is rooted in centuries of rivalry, mostly revolving around Katherine Pierce, a vampire who looks exactly like Elena. She is the one responsible for turning them all those years ago. Damon initially notes that his intentions for being back in town is simply to make Stefan's life miserable, but as the season progresses, we learn that he's actually on a mission to release Katherine, who we all thought has been trapped in a sealed tomb under the town all this time, slowly desiccating with a bunch of other vampires who were caught back in 18-something.
Doesn't make sense. They locked her inside. How could she not be in here?
With the season, we're also introduced to our main group of characters. There's Bonnie Bennett, Elena's best friend, who slowly discovers she's a witch, which is great because the show needed someone to constantly disrespect and take for granted. There's Caroline Forbes, Elena's other best friend, who becomes a victim of Damon's games. Then there's Matt Donovan, Elena's ex, struggling to move on, and his best friend Tyler Lockwood, who's got a lot more going on than initially meets the eye. There's also a whole bit about Damon turning Vicky, who is Matt's older sister, into a vampire, which leads to her death. But unfortunately, I don't really care for her, so yeah. Most of the season follows Damon and Stefan falling in love with Elena, while Elena and Stefan grow in a very cute and innocent relationship.
Have some fun and try to remember that we don't have to be so serious.
Stefan's main goal of the season is to simply protect and love Elena, who we slowly learn is adopted and a descendant of Katherine, which is why they look alike. We also quickly learn about the town's secret vampire hunting council, who serve as the other villains of the season. The council is led by people who are surprisingly bad at vampire hunting, including the sheriff, who happens to be Caroline's mother, and the mayor and his wife, who are Tyler's parents.
Hello, John. Goodbye, John.
The final big bad of season 1 is the one and only Katherine Pierce. She shows up at the very end of the season, proving that doppelgangers are not just for dating. I've got to give the show its flowers here because the build-up and introduction to Katherine was nothing short of brilliant. Literally real cinema, and you can't tell me otherwise. As I mentioned earlier, we're initially led to believe that Katherine was trapped in a tomb for over 100 years with many other vampires who were captured to be burned to death. On his mission to free Katherine, Damon successfully gets into the tomb, only to discover that Katherine has been free this whole time. It's sad and heartbreaking for him, as the woman he loved with everything in him turns out to have been free all this time and to know exactly where to find him, but simply didn't care to. It's even more heartbreaking because Bonnie's grandmother lost her life in the attempt of opening the tomb.
Everything my Grams did was to protect us from those vampires in the tomb, which means she died for nothing.
The season ends with the released tomb vampires seeking revenge on the founding families for them to pay the price of their ancestors, only for them to be caught and burned to death. Also with Katherine arriving back in town and chopping off a few fingers. So the key takeaway from season 1, Stefan is the good guy, Damon is the bad guy but can be good, Katherine is back, Elena is a damsel, and everyone is about to have a very, very bad time. Out of all the seasons, I would rank season 1 at number 4, just missing that on the top 3. It was alright. It did a good job at setting the tone, introducing us to the characters and the rules of the world. I also liked the fact that it had the balls to actually kill Vicky, who was looking like one of the main cast. It's just a shame that it kept bringing her back.
Game on.
This season is a whirlwind of ancient curses, moonstones, sun and moon rituals, and an introduction to the Michelson brothers. Season 3 is split in 3 chapters. The first chapter is the Katherine chapter. It deals with the return of Katherine Pierce, and with every episode, we learn just why everyone is so afraid of her. I mean, in the very first episode, after nearly killing John, she turns Caroline into a vampire to teach our main trio a lesson. But it turns out that this was the best thing to ever happen to Caroline's character. She goes from an insecure, whiny side friend to a powerful, sassy, incredibly organized vampire. And we love that for her. Also in the season, Bonnie's magic gets stronger, but at what cost? Usually her life. Poor Bonnie, she's always sacrificing herself for everyone. Also with this chapter, we get a little more of Katherine's backstory, and I like that she's back for a reason. She uses manipulation and violence to achieve her goals, which are slowly revealed throughout the season.
That's the reason why you came back, isn't it? Because you wanted to be the one to hand me over to Klaus.
Chapter 2 is where we're properly introduced to the werewolves and a bit about their mythology, especially Tyler and his uncle Mason. Tyler triggers the werewolf curse, accidentally killing someone, adding a new layer of supernatural tension. This also brings more werewolves to Mystic Falls. We learn about the sun and the moon curse, which supposedly keeps vampires from walking in the sunlight and werewolves from changing at will. The actor who played Mason was kinda cute to me as a young teen, so I felt a bit sad when he died, but other than that, I don't think I really care for the werewolves. With chapter 2, the love triangle between Elena, Stefan and Damon intensifies. Stefan is still trying to be good, Damon is still trying to be bad but secretly good, and Elena is just trying to survive, being a human in a town full of bloodthirsty creatures who seem to all want a piece of her.
Klaus is my brother. I believe the term you're searching for is OMG.
Chapter 3 does the important role of introducing us to the Michelson brothers, also known as the Originals. The Originals are the oldest, most powerful, most deadly vampires in this universe. Katherine was just an appetizer, and the Michelson brothers are the main course. There's Elijah, the noble one with fancy suits, and then there's Klaus. Klaus, the most charismatic, terrifying, and strangely attractive villain in the Vampire Diaries history, with insane mommy and trust issues. As I mentioned before, they are the first to exist, and we learn a little bit about their story in this season, but we learn a lot more in the next season. This season just deals with the arrival of Klaus in Mystic Falls and concentrates on the events surrounding the curse. Essentially, for over 1,000 years, Klaus has been trying to break a curse placed on him. He created the myth of the curse of the sun and the moon to find the moonstone and the Petrova doppelganger, both of which he needed to break the actual curse. See, he was born with werewolf genes and he wants to liberate his werewolf side and become a werewolf vampire hybrid and sire his own super species of hybrids.
I don't want my freedom. Because when Klaus shows up to kill us all, and he will, I'll be in the tomb.
Similar to the way they handled Katherine, I think the introduction to Klaus was done very, very, very well. I was hooked and at the edge of my seat with every episode, especially because Katherine was our strongest villain at this point, and she was petrified of him. I just think it was masterclass. I love the fact that we didn't meet him in his original form. We met him possessing Alaric's body as a way to infiltrate the inner circle and find out their plan against him. Klaus's entrance marks a turning point in the show, setting up the main conflict for the third chapter. We learn that to lift the curse, he needs to sacrifice a vampire, a werewolf, and a Petrova doppelganger, Elena, because of course, everyone wants to sacrifice Elena. It's like her superpower.
It's because of me. Everything is because of me.
We learned that what Katherine was running from this whole time and why she faked her death all those years ago was because she was the initial doppelganger that Klaus intended to sacrifice and break the curse. Everyone clocks in to try and stop this to happen, and they fail miserably. It was actually quite refreshing to see our heroes lose and the bad guy to get exactly what he wanted. After the ritual, during the full moon, Damon is bitten by Tyler, and because a werewolf bite is fatal to them, Stefan offers himself to Klaus to save Damon. Klaus agrees to help Damon and save him, but in return, Stefan has to leave Mystic Falls with Klaus, returning him to his Ripper roots, which leaves Elena devastated.
Katharina, may I introduce to you the Lord Niklas?
So by the end of season 2, the key takeaway is that Klaus is here, he's hot, he's evil, and he's probably going to steal the show. He has taken Stefan, killed Aunt Jenna, and broken the curse. The good guys lost, and Klaus virtually got everything he wanted. Though I feel like they kept him on the show for way longer than they need to. Ask anyone who's watched the show and they will tell you that Klaus is their favorite villain, hands down, no contest. Just scraping a couple more points and coming up at number 1, I would give it to season 2. This season was a masterclass in building tension with great pacing. It had excellent writing with a good pace of revealing information, and it introduced us to 2 of the more well-written and memorable villains in such an attention-grabbing way. Like, first we had Katherine, who we thought was bad, but then it got worse when we met Elijah, and then it got even worse when we got Klaus. Like, this was the Vampire Diaries at the top of their game. Plus, Elena and Stefan's cringy, innocent, dramatic romance will always have a special place in my heart. So, yeah, it goes to season 2.
You're free to go. This is family business.
Season 3 is about 2 major things: Stefan's dark journey and the undeniable growth of Damon and Elena's relationship. It also provides further exploration of the lore of the Michelson family, expanding beyond the brothers. We are treated with the most dysfunctional, unhinged family reunion ever. They dagger each other, undagger each other, and generally make life hell for themselves and anyone who crosses them. Season 3 opens up with Stefan reluctantly serving as Klaus's slave and new partner in crime. They travel through the country, leaving a trail of destruction as Klaus is focused on his mission of creating hybrids, but their body just seems to reject the transformation. Meanwhile, back in Mystic Falls, Elena and Damon are left to cope with Stefan's absence. They are forced to work together, and in the process, their bond deepens. Damon, with his humanity now fully on display, becomes Elena's confidant and protector. Their chemistry is electric, and the will they, won't they tension is at an all-time high. Elena was supposed to die in the ritual, so when Klaus finds out she's still alive, he returns to Mystic Falls. There, he finds out that he actually needs her blood to create his precious hybrids, so the Salvatore's obsession with her works in his favor. This whole part though is kind of sad because it's also when Klaus compels Stefan to switch off his humanity, turning him into his old Ripper self, the self that Klaus has been gagging for. Stefan is now a bloodthirsty, chaotic killer. The Ripper is back in full force and he's terrifying. With Chapter 2, we learn more about the creation of vampires and the backstory of the originals, delving into their family history and the complicated dynamics of their parents, Esther and Michael. This season truly expands the mythology of the show, making the world feel larger and more ancient. Rebecca is the first sibling we meet, as Klaus needed her to figure out why his hybrids were rejecting their transformation. It turns out that her and Stefan were a thing back in 1920s, and she was daggered because she was planning on abandoning Klaus on their run from their father. The original family's backstory is a rich tapestry of betrayal, lost love, and dark family bonds.
So, vampirism was a form of protection? What else would it be?
They actually lived in Mystic Falls way before the founding family ever discovered the town, living with a community of werewolves. On one full moon, one of their siblings was accidentally killed by a werewolf, so, urged by their father, their mother turned them into vampires in an effort to protect them and keep the family safe. Things didn't go according to plan though, as this revealed Klaus's werewolf side. It turns out that Esther had an affair and Klaus is only their half-sibling. She was the one who put the curse of the sun and the moon on Klaus to suppress that side of him, and he killed her and framed his father for this. Because their father already had some serious anger issues, his siblings believed him, and ever since, they've been on a run from Michael, who made it his mission to avenge his wife's death.
If you were after him, you were after me.
He blinded you, Rebecca. He killed your mother.
With the arrival and subsequent death of Michael in present day, we finally meet the rest of the family. Because the father is dead, Klaus felt it was safe enough to undagger him. And with Bunny and her mother's help, we also meet Esther, who is brought back into life. It seems like she just wants to have her family back and go back to normal. In the B-plot, both the main cast of vampires and the humans are baffled when a killing spree begins against the Founders Council members, scaring them into thinking there's a new serial killer in Mystic Falls. The central romantic conflict of the season remains Elena's heart. The love triangle becomes more complicated. Elena kisses Damon, showing cracks in her loyalty to Stefan. After a season of agonizing over her feelings for both brothers, the season finale presents her with an impossible choice. She has to choose between a life with Damon, the exciting but dangerous one, and a life with Stefan, the safe, healthy one. She chooses Stefan, solidifying what she believes is her true love.
I betrayed nature when I created them. It's my duty to kill them.
In Chapter 3, we learn the real reason Esther returned, which is to kill her family, as she regrets making them immortal beings. As the rest of her family are not willing to just die, the siblings use Elena to force Damon and Stefan to help them in their power struggle against their mother. This chapter also continues the storyline of the mysterious killer who seems bent on killing the council members who protect the secrets of vampires in Mystic Falls.
You wear a ring that lets you cheat death, Rick. How many times can you die before it changes you?
Alaric, the main teacher of the school and in the cast, is revealed to be the killer due to overusing the Gilbert ring. The Gilbert ring is a magic ring that can reverse the death of a human if killed by a supernatural. The overuse of this ring causes him to have a split personality. Esther takes advantage of this, turning Alaric into an enhanced original vampire and arming him with an indestructible white oak stake, the only weapon that can kill an original for good. After appearing to kill Klaus, Rebecca kills Elena as revenge because Esther bound Alaric's life to Elena, so killing him would stop him hunting them. On the way to see Stefan, she causes Elena's car to crash off the same bridge where her parents died, and in a heartbreaking twist, she drowns with vampire blood in her system and wakes up a vampire in transition. Now, in terms of ranking, this was a hard one because it could have gone either way. I decided to give the number 2 ranking to season 3. gave us Ripper Stefan and the originals, and I liked watching our good old sweet Stefan turn heartless for a few episodes. It was genuinely entertaining, and though I loved the chemistry between the original family, it got a bit boring towards the end, watching the group try and fail to get rid of Klaus over and over again. Like, they just longed it out to a point that I was over it by the season finale. Either kill him or let him go. Like, just wrap this shit up. Now, season 4 could be argued as the beginning of the end of the Vampire Diaries. The season begins with Elena completing her transformation and becoming a vampire. Stefan and Damon fight over how to best help her adjust to a life she never wanted. Her transformation flips the show on its head. Her emotions are heightened and she struggles with her newfound bloodlust. More importantly, her feelings for Damon are magnified, and it's later revealed that she has a sire bond to him because she was sired by his blood, meaning she's literally under his spell. This leads to a lot of drama as the group debates whether her love for Damon is real or product of the sire bond.
Damon likes the red dress. Elena likes the red dress.
Damon says kill Connor, she kills Connor.
Also, everyone tries to cope with the chaos Alaric created when he outed the vampires and their supporters to the rest of the Founders Council and the local church leaders. The main plot point for Chapter 2 is the discovery of a cure for vampirism. With the arrival of a new supernatural hunter, we learn about the Five, a group of ancient vampire hunters, and a little bit about the powerful witch who created the cure. It turns out that Elena's brother, Jeremy, is revealed to be a potential hunter. How convenient. And once he kills enough vampires, his body will reveal the map to the cure. When he's done that and they have the map, Chapter 3 follows the gang on their journey to retrieve it. And it turns out to be a terrible time for everyone involved.
Here we go.
It's a long, difficult road, and the search leads them to Silas's tomb. Silas, we're told, is the first immortal being and a powerful witch. And in another classic Vampire Diaries twist, he's also the world's first doppelganger. Stefan's doppelganger, to be exact. They try to do the same thing they've done with all the previous villains, like the build-up of how merciless and terrifying he is. But I don't know, for me, it didn't quite hit the same, I fear. But I will say that I enjoyed Paul's performance in the role. It was more comedic than Stefan, and I think he played it pretty well. Like, he got a few chuckles out of me. As I mentioned, they were warned about the dangers of raising Silas, with even one of the original vampires trying to stop them due to how terrifying he is. So as expected, the journey does not go well for them. It turns out that Katherine has been following them all along, and she steals the cure right from up under them, feeding Jeremy to Silas, which ends up killing him.
All dead. Everyone is dead. So what am I supposed... I mean, how am I gonna... I can't even...
The final chapter deals with the aftermath of the journey. The pain from now having lost practically every single one of her family pushes Elena to turn off her humanity, and it stays off for a couple episodes. I may not like her, the character, but Nina, the actress, ate up the scene. Like, I felt so sorry for her. I was like, yeah, girl, I hear it. I absolutely hear it. Meanwhile, Silas, who is now awake, has followed the group back to Mystic Falls and is hell-bent on accomplishing his ultimate goal: to drop the veil to the other side so he can take the cure, die, and find peace in the afterlife with his one true love, Amara. You see, the other side is a supernatural purgatory for dead supernaturals with unfinished business. So doing this would bring back everyone over there, and that obviously causes a lot of problems for our main cast. But in order to do this, Silas must orchestrate 3 different sacrifices of 12 humans, witches, and hybrids. This is something Klaus helps with when he learns that Tyler has been working with his hybrid slaves to break their sire bond to him, so he ends up killing them instead of allowing them to gain their freedom. Towards the end of the season, with Elena's humanity back, our main cast prepare to graduate from high school, even though they've barely been in class for the last 2 years, but only to find out that the veil has been dropped and they need to work together to put it back up. which is something they are successful in doing.
What's going on, Bonnie? Why can't I feel you?
It's okay.
Bonnie, in an attempt to bring Jeremy back from the dead, casts a massive spell, and while she was successful, she dies in the process. And I'm not going to lie to you, I cried. I almost wanted to slap her up the head. Like, there you go again, sacrificing yourself for everybody else. She literally has 0 survival skills. And for a man, girl, stand up. During my first time, it was hard to watch, I will admit, but yeah. Stefan, now in possession of the cure, gives it to Elena, but before she takes it, she's attacked by Katherine. They get into a little squabble, and Elena forces the cure down Katherine's throat. And to be honest, I liked this. I think this is the most interesting thing they could have done with the cure, given it's practically the only vampire who didn't want nor need it. And I was looking forward to seeing how that would play out in the next season.
Have a nice human life, Katherine.
Even though they were able to defeat and capture Silas, he escapes in the last minute, trapping Stefan in a safe and dumping him in the quarry, which was the plan for Silas. Dumped in the quarry, he's forced to relive his death over and over again all summer long. As a die-hard Elena fan, I always struggle to rewatch this season during my rewatches because this is where we see the final death of Elena and Stefan's relationship. Like, it literally ends here and there's no coming back. And I don't like that. But it's fine. It's fine. I would have ranked this season in the 6th place. To be honest, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it had some decent parts. I actually liked Elena turning into a vampire. But the introduction of the cure and all the stuff with the hunter kind of dragged it down. And because of loyalty, I just have to hate this season because of what it did to Elena and Stefan. I don't care now. Like, I don't care that much now. Like, I'm fine. But it's just out of principle.
Look at that. Unbelievable. Love is so damn fickle.
Also split in 4 chapters, the first chapter of season 5 deals with the aftermath of the summer. After a very passionate summer with Damon, Elena heads to Whitmore College with Caroline, not knowing that Bonnie had sacrificed her life in order to resurrect Jeremy. We also get more on the history between Silas, Ketsia, the witch who created the cure, and Amaro. Long story short, a very long time ago, over 2,000 years, Ketsia and Silas were madly in love and engaged. At Silas's request, Ketsia created an immortality elixir. They were supposed to take it during the wedding and literally spend eternity together. However, Silas betrayed her by taking the potion with her handmaiden, Amara, who is also part of the Petrova bloodline and his true soulmate. Ketsia retaliated by kidnapping Amara and forcing her to take the immortality elixir, and using her now immortal and indestructible body to bind a spell that creates the other side, making her the anchor. She deceived Silas into believing that Amaro was dead and imprisoned him with the cure to his immortality, believing that Cyrus would eventually take the cure and die as a witch, joining her on the other side, instead of moving on and finding true eternal peace with Amaro. But he didn't.
Rational, well-adjusted woman you seem to know so much about.
Good women are dead. Evil bitches, rise up!
Back in present day, Silas is focused on a plan to finally die and be reunited with Amara. But when Bonnie resurrected Jeremy, she created a small window that Ketsia used to come over and finally get her revenge on Silas. This chapter also deals with Damon and Elena finding Stefan and the aftermath of his escape from the quarry, as it left him with severe PTSD and some resentment towards them for not finding him sooner. And now dead Bonnie is still getting used to being a ghost, with only Jeremy being able to see her, convincing everyone that she's just out of town for now. And the human Katherine is now on the run from Silas, as the cure runs through her veins and he needs it before he checks out. She comes across a vampire from her past that has been looking for her for 500 years, and it turns out to be her daughter Nadia. In the last episode of this chapter, Stefan kills Silas, but that doesn't seem to heal his pain, and Amara, who was woken up in the previous episode, finally gets to kill herself and end her suffering, but not before Ketsia brings Bonnie back to life by making her the new anchor to the other side.
I'm sure
sure Augustine will be thrilled to have you back.
That's my dad.
The second chapter deals with the mystery of the Augustine Society at Elena and Caroline's University, where a professor, Wes Maxfield, is working on a Ripper virus which causes vampires to feed on other vampires instead of humans. It also reveals Damon's dark history as an Augustine vampire with an old friend called Enzo, which puts Damon's new relationship with Elena to the test. This is one of the few instances that I'm on Damon's side. I was fully on board with his revenge plan, and I low-key didn't blame him, because at least he kept one of the family members alive each time. But essentially, about 50 years ago, Damon and Enzo were kidnapped and held captive as their body were used to conduct several experiments. The doctors were trying to figure out if they can cure several diseases with the supernatural traits of vampirism. So when he finally escaped, as part of his plan, he would kill everyone in the doctor's bloodline, leaving one family member to continue the bloodline and do it all over again. And he was still doing this even when he got with Elena. Also, when he escaped, he abandoned Enzo even though they had the plan to escape together.
I'm going to have my entire body is falling apart. Oh, God.
With this chapter, we also follow Katherine, who is now rapidly dying of old age after Silas sucked the cure from her blood. It seems like time is up for her for real now, and no one wants to, nor cares to save her, except her daughter, Nadia. Bonnie is getting used to being alive again, enjoying her time with Jeremy and reconnecting with her friends, while also coming to terms with a painful role as the anchor to the other side. It turns out that supernaturals passing through her is a less than pleasant experience.
I want my daughter, I want immortality, and I want Stefan Salvatore.
Chapter 3 focuses on the consequences of all the actions taken at Katherine's deathbed. With Nadia's help, Katherine was able to find a way to avoid death by living as a passenger in Elena's body. Katherine set the plan in motion to get back all she thinks is rightfully hers, breaking up with Damon and trying to get back with Stefan. The breakup sends Damon off on a killing spree with his old murder buddy Enzo, which leads to its own tragic aftermath, the death of Elena's human best friend at the university. Katherine continues to spend time with her daughter Nadia, while also causing trouble in everyone's life as she pretends to be Elena, revealing Caroline slept with Klaus to Tyler, for example. She's eventually caught and they're able to get Elena back, killing Katherine for good. Or at least we thought. In this chapter, we're introduced to Liv and Luke Parker, who are twin witches from the Gemini Coven and will become more important as the show goes on. In the final chapter, we learn Katherine, never one to give up without a fight, infected Elena's body with the Ripper virus just after she was caught. With Damon also infected, Stefan and Caroline try and find an antidote for them and are surprised when they are helped by travelers, a subset of witches who are now accompanied by Enzo.
Taken over towns by putting passengers inside of the townsfolk. We think they're doing the same thing in Mystic Falls.
As the war begins brewing between the travelers and the witch covens, Mystic Falls becomes a battlefield where the travelers' leader Marcos reveals his plan to strip the world of spirit magic, leaving every other type of witches besides them powerless and exterminating the vampire species as they were made from spirit magic. This storyline was a hot mess. And in honesty, I wasn't there for it, but it was where we get to see the developing bond between Stefan and Caroline. It also turns out that Liv and Luke were actually sent to Mystic Falls by their coven to stop the travelers. The season culminates in a massive supernatural battle to stop the travelers, and our main cast are only kinda successful as they are able to limit the travelers' spell to only affecting Mystic Falls, meaning that for now, our main cast can't enter their hometown. In all that chaos, a good amount of our season 5 main cast end up dead and on the other side. This includes Stefan, Tyler, Luke, Enzo, and Alaric, who's pretty much been there for a hot sec now. In order to bring everyone back, they concoct a plan that includes killing the travelers and completing a resurrection spell, allowing all the dead supernaturals to pass through Bonnie and come back to life.
I will make it back to you. I promise.
Damon informs Elena that he's the one who's going to trigger the plan, and her being madly in love with him says she can't let him do it alone. The plan works as they drive a car into Mystic Grill, triggering an explosion that kills the travelers and them. Slowly, everyone makes their way out of the other side, but as the spell is slowly killing Liv, Luke abruptly cuts her off, leaving Damon trapped there with Bonnie, who is going away with the other side anyways. At the end of the episode, Bonnie and Damon are standing next to each other as the other side crumbles down around them. The season ends with a cliffhanger as we watch Damon and Bonnie disappear into a bright light, seemingly gone forever. I think I would rank season 5 at number 5, though I appreciated the semi-return of Bonnie and other domestics with Silas, Ketsia, and Amara. Overall, the season was underwhelming, and I felt like the storyline with the Travelers kind of dragged it down, and a little bit with Augustine vampires as well. Going to college/university usually never works out for these kind of shows.
What? You can survive without a spleen. Something tells me you're not speaking hypothetically.
Also made of 3 chapters, season 6 follows the group roughly 4 months after Damon and Bonnie's death, with their friends trying to move on with their lives. Elena, Jeremy, and Stefan are still grieving, while Caroline and Enzo try and find a way to break the Travelers' anti-magic spell on Mystic Falls, and haven't lost hope with Bonnie and Damon, so they try and locate them. Elena, unable to cope with the pain of losing Damon, turns to a now original-like vampire Alaric to help erase all memories of him from her mind. A couple episodes in though, we find out that Damon and Bonnie aren't actually dead, but stuck in a prison world, repeating the same day in 1994. They meet a mysterious inhabitant named Kyle while trying to find a way back home. As Kyle helps Bonnie get her magic back, they initially decide to all work together to escape, but Bonnie steps down after learning about Kai's past and his plan to finish what he started once he leaves the prison world. We find out a bit more about this in the second chapter. Now back and returned to their pre-death form, Tyler is no longer human and Alaric are now coming to terms with their new status, while Matt has joined a new militia group in town.
My coven put Kai in a prison.
Kai, as in our brother, my twin.
Chapter 2 mainly focuses on the Parker family and Kai's backstory. See, Kai is the eldest son of Joshua Parker, the former leader of the Gemini Coven, and his twin brother to Joe. Born as a siphoner, Kai was shunned by his family, and as twins of the Coven, Kai and Joe were expected to merge. The merge is a ritual that creates the new leader of the Coven, as the twins are put in a standoff and one of them dies physically, but their essence is merged into the other, increasing the winner's power. Joshua, knowing that Kai would win the merge due to his power as a siphoner, could not let that happen, as Kai is a sociopath. So him and his wife kept having children until another pair of twins were born, who turned out to be Liv and Luke. Realizing this, on May 9th, 1994, Kai decided to kill his siblings and merge with Joe anyways. He was unsuccessful, and that's why he's in the prison world. The Coven harvests the power of the solar eclipse to trap him there as punishment for his crimes. So obviously, learning this causes tension between Kai, Bonnie, and Damon. Eventually, they're able to trick Kai and initiate their escape, but Kai catches up to them, and once again, Bonnie is sacrificed and Damon escapes. Just gotta say, fuck the writers.
What about Bonnie?
She sacrificed herself so I can come back. She's all alone.
With chapter 2, we learned that the duo we're getting to know, who was a doctor at Withmore, Alaric's new girlfriend, and Elena's teacher, is actually Luke and Liv's long-lost sister. They were the family that Kai tried to extinct, and after the events that took place in 1994, Jo left her family and magic behind to get a fresh start. With Liv's help, Damon and Elena return to the prison world to get Bonnie, but their plans are ruined when Kai forces Liv to bring them back before they can get her. To make matters worse, Bonnie was about to kill herself as she couldn't take the suffering anymore, but is saved when a ghost like Jeremy gives her a sign of hope. She makes a promise not to give up and to try and save herself. And just gotta say, noticing. But also, fuck the writers, again. With Kai back in Mystic Falls, he forces Joe to complete the ritual and merge, but they are interrupted by Luke, who knocks Joe out. He demands that Kai merges with him instead, and though Kai is skeptical it would even work, Luke forces him anyways. Unfortunately, Luke wasn't as strong as he thought, as Kai had just absorbed all the magic from the Traveler's spell. Kai ends up winning the merge, and that kills Luke. And yeah, this was another death that I felt. R.I.P. Luke, gone and kind of forgotten, but I really did like the character. Also in this season, Caroline's mum is diagnosed with cancer, and Caroline goes above and beyond to save her, using vampire blood. But unfortunately, this just ends up rushing the cancer and she dies. This obviously breaks Caroline, along with the fact that she has started developing feelings for Stefan, and when he kind of told her he didn't feel the same way, even though he did, she decides to turn her humanity off, being unable to cope with it all.
Just need the pain to be gone. If Stefan had said the right thing earlier, would that have changed your mind?
Also in this chapter, Jeremy makes a life-changing decision to leave Mystic Falls for good, and I think it's incredibly sick that he was the only person who seemed to genuinely care about bringing Bonnie back, and they had him leave before they could even be reunited. Like, seriously, fuck the writers.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Oh my god, it's my mother.
In chapter 3, while Caroline is running around causing problems with her humanity off, we learn more about the Salvatore brothers' mother, Lily, and that she's still alive. Obviously, she became a vampire ages ago, and she's trapped in a prison world because, like Stefan, she too is a very dangerous ripper with a body count of over 3,000. She was put there with her companions, the heretics, who are siphon witches turned vampires, as they were living a bit too recklessly and just feeding on everybody. Because Stefan proves to be a problem for Caroline, trying to get her humanity back and all, she forces him to turn his humanity off. And in an effort to solve this, Elena, Bonnie, Kai and Damon retrieve Lily from the prison world to get Stefan's humanity back, which will in turn help get Caroline's humanity back. They leave her heretics in the prison world, promising Lily that once they've got Stefan back, they'll return to get them. And as revenge for all the pain he caused her, Bonnie leaves Kai trapped in the 1903 prison world. Their plan works, and after Stefan gets his humanity back, Lily pesters Damon about going back for heretics, as they are the only thing that's stopping her from turning back into a ripper, to which he keeps avoiding because he has absolutely no plans to do that.
For locking up your mom in her closet full of crazy pants.
Tell me how to get her back! Your mom's a ripper!
It's also revealed that Lily and Enzo have some history, but honestly, I don't care about that. Elena considers taking the cure, which Bonnie brought back from the 1978 prison world, which again tests her relationship with Damon, but he eventually decides to take it with her. With her emotions back, Caroline returns to Mystic Falls to deal with the fallout of her humanity-free rampage and begins making amends, while trying to come to a realization about her and Stefan's prospects of being together. It's also revealed that Jo is pregnant and Alaric proposes, but not because of this, he was already planning to anyways. In the last 2 episodes, things take a turn for the worst. Kai returns from the 1903 prison world in the middle of Alaric and Jo's wedding to reenact a deadly plan of revenge that affects everyone.
Heretics are ruthless. Vampires with witch power.
It's time we get the hell out of this place.
He first kills Jo to get rid of the twin she's carrying, as he still wants to remain the leader of the Gemini Coven. And once again, I might have shed a tear or two because I really liked Jo, even though I didn't really care for Alaric. Kai then proceeds to kill himself, and as the leader, he takes the entire Gemini Coven with him. He also puts a sleeping coma spell on Elena and links her life to Bonnie, meaning that Elena can only wake up once Bonnie is dead, and there's absolutely no way around it. Remember this. And even though this only happened because the actress, Nina Dobrev, was ready to leave the show, we're still 2 for 2, so a win is a win. Let's get rid of the Gilberts. And lastly, we see that Kai returns with Lily's heretics, so she's reunited with her family. I would surprisingly rank season 6 in the top 3 at number 3. Unpopular opinion, but I actually really enjoyed Kai as a villain, especially in the earlier episodes, and I also really enjoyed watching Bonnie and Damon's relationship blossom. I liked the introduction of Jo, I liked Luke, and even though his death was sad, it was touching, and with this season we got to say bye to Elena. So, what's there not to like?
Wake the hell up!
In season 7, we see the group struggling to rebuild their world without Elena. Damon dealing with heartbreak, while Stefan and Caroline finally begin their much anticipated relationship. which is complicated by Caroline's unexpected role as a surrogate mother to Alaric's infant twins that was saved by the Coven just before their death. With 4 chapters, Season 7 begins with the Heretic family living in Mystic Falls. The family consists of Valerie, Oscar, Nora and Mary Louise, who are in a romantic relationship, Beau, and Malcolm. After killing a few locals, Stefan and the gang are forced to compel the town people to leave, allowing the heretics to only feed on intruders in the town. Damon and Bonnie decide to fight back and kill one of Lily's heretics. This causes attacks to both the main group and the heretics for control of the town. Alaric, in the meantime, wants to use a mysterious phoenix stone to bring his dead fiancé Joe back to life, but Lily wants the stone for herself to bring back her vampire lover Julian.
Stefan, meet Julian.
Julian was the man you were not supposed to fall for.
In chapter 2, we see Lily's vampire boyfriend Julian successfully retrieved from the Phoenix Stone and trying to get back to normal with his heretic family. There's a bit more history revealed about the heretics, mainly that Julian is a terrible person and Valerie once had a relationship with Stefan back in 1862. When Stefan learns that Valerie got pregnant and Julian killed the child he had with Valerie, Stefan works with Damon to hatch a plan and get their revenge on him. Scared and on edge, Julian links his life to Lily, but this backfires when Lily teams up with her sons to get rid of Julian. They're able to convince her to see Julian for who he truly is. She kills herself, thinking that they are still linked, but it's later revealed that Mary Louise unlinks them, so with this attempt, Julian survives while Lily dies. Blaming her son for her death, Julian uses the Phoenix Stone to kill Damon just before Stefan is killed by Nora for revenge, trapping both their souls in the Phoenix Stone. We learned that being in the Phoenix Stone means constantly reliving your own unique version of hell. Not gonna lie, I wasn't the biggest fan of this part because that Damon episode just felt like it went on forever. It really dragged the season down, but of course with Bonnie's help, they are both able to eventually escape.
All ends tomorrow. You'll never have to worry about me again.
We see the writers get a bit more creative in chapter 3 as it features a 3-year time jump. After all the business with Julian, Damon decides that he just can't do this anymore, locking himself in a coffin where he intended to remain until Bonnie died and Elena was awoken from her coma. This chapter largely deals with the origin of the Phoenix Stone and introduces us to Raina Cruz, a ruthless vampire huntress spelled by shamans after she was forced to kill her father by Julian. Her sole life's purpose is to get vengeance on Julian, his heretic family, and all the vampires, incarcerating them in the Phoenix Stone and imprisoning them in their own unique version of hell. After Stefan finally gets his revenge and kills Julian, Enzo is tasked with finding Raina for a shady organization that specializes in supernatural knowledge and artifacts. They are called the Armory. In return, they promise to help him find the truth about his family. With Bonnie's help, Enzo is able to find her living as an old woman in the hospital. When she attacks Bonnie, Enzo kills her, reincarnating her in a more youthful form. We later learn that Raina has the ability to continually resurrect from the dead a total of 8 times, as 8 shamans gave their life to her, allowing her to complete her mission of eradicating all vampires from existence. She is able to track down and kill Beau, one of the heretics, and stab Stefan. This forces him on the run as the scar creates a link between them. The scar allows her to track him wherever he goes. With Stefan on the run, he is forced to say goodbye to his now new kinda girlfriend Caroline, who gives birth to Alaric's twins and moves with him to Dallas to raise them in a safer environment.
I'm leaving today. I have hired a nurse to come with me.
What?
Do you have a better idea?
Me?
In the 3-year jump, we see that Raina was captured by the Armory, but with the help of Matt, she's able to escape as Matt blames Stefan for the death of his fiancée. Towards the end of this chapter, Raina is able to track down and eventually kill Stefan with her sword, trapping his spirit in the Phoenix Stone, despite Damon being seconds away from having the scar transferred onto him. Towards the end of this chapter, we witness Mary Louise, who has been imprisoned and experimented on by the Armory before the 3-year jump, weakened and close to death. She unites with Nora, who by this point has been marked by Raina. At first, the two attempt to run, but ultimately accept that their fate is sealed. In the final act of defiance and love, they choose to go out together, Thelma and Louise style, siphoning the power of the Phoenix Stone to destroy it, and themselves in the process.
All the souls inside escaped. The spirits fled into the first dead piece of flesh they could find.
In chapter 4, we learn that the destruction of the Phoenix Stone comes with massive consequences. Every imprisoned vampire, including Stefan, is suddenly released, their souls scattered into random human and vampire bodies. It takes time, but with Bonnie's help, Stefan is finally restored to his original body. This season finally gives us something fans and me, yes, me personally, had been gagging for. Bonnie finally finding love, a genuine, worthy partner. At first, I wasn't the biggest fan of Enzo. He didn't seem like a good match for me, but his bond with Bonnie grew into one of the most unexpectedly beautiful romances of the entire series. They slowly became one of my all-time favorite pairing on the show. But of course, in true Vampire Diaries fashion, they were done dirty, disgustingly dirty. But we'll get into that heartbreak a bit later.
I was protecting you.
You're gonna die?
I will not let you die, Bonnie Bennett.
For now, Enzo is devoted to protecting Bonnie, hiding her from the Armory, who wants to use her to open a mysterious vault. To cloak her magic, he gives her pills that masks her power. But the devastating twist is that those pills are slowly killing her, and there's no cure. As the gang are devising a plan to finally get rid of Raina, they consider that instead of just killing her, they can transfer her life force into Bonnie instead. With the Phoenix Stone destroyed, Raina writes down the names of all the vampires that escaped, and Damon makes a deal to kill them all if she agrees to give her last life to save Bonnie. During the transfer ritual, as she dies, Raina warns that Bonnie will inherit her curse and become the next Huntress. Sure enough, Bonnie is consumed with an uncontrollable vampire killing urge. To save her, Damon heads to the Armory's vault to destroy the last everlasting, the source of Raina's Huntress power. Though successful, he falls prey to the dark presence within the vault. Enzo rushes to save him and is trapped there as well. Months pass by with no sign of them until the group finally uncovers the chilling truth. Damon and Enzo have escaped the vault, but under the control of the monstrous occupants, together they have left a trail of death behind them. In terms of ranking, I put season 7 at number 5. It was the start of the Elena-less era. I guess it was alright, but kind of forgettable. I just finished writing the recap section and I legit barely remember anything that happened. I didn't really care for the heretics or Lily's mom or anything else that happened. The only reason it ranks at number 5 is because of the beauty that was Bonnie and Enzo's relationship. I was pretty much sleeping through the season, but their backstory in episode 19, I sat up alert. I cannot talk about their chemistry enough. Oh, goosebumps. I live.
Bonnie. Seen enough.
Finally, we're at the last season, and trust me, it gets messy, so bear with me. Chapter 1 kicks off with Damon and Enzo, enslaved to the vault's mysterious monster from season 7, who is revealed to be a siren named Sybil. Her job? Harvesting souls for Arcadius, aka Cade, the literal devil. And yes, Cade being introduced as a smooth-talking black man is an interesting choice. Meanwhile, Caroline moves in with Stefan. He proposes not long after and she accepts, so that's kind of happening in the background. The group manages to save Enzo, with Bonnie pulling him back to humanity, but Sybil isn't done. Alongside her sister, Celine, who, in a plot twist, has been babysitting Alaric's twins this whole time. Sybil goes to work erasing Damon's humanity. She strips away his good qualities until he finally makes a deal with Cade. He and Stefan will take the Siren's place as servants in exchange for avoiding hell for eternity. Stefan resists at first, but eventually gives in, reverting to his Ripper self and damning innocent souls to hell.
We made a deal. I serve him for a year and then I'm done.
What are you going to do?
Chapter 2 reveals Sybil's master plan. She's been hunting down 3 pieces of the Mystic Falls Founder's Bell before her sister can get them, but it turns out the bell is way more powerful than either of them realized. Not only can it kill sirens, it can also rip open hell itself and unleash hellfire that destroys everything in its path. But the most unnecessary and random catch is that only someone from the Maxwell bloodline, aka Matt Donovan's family, can ring it. I guess in the last season, they finally decided to make Matt relevant. So yeah, why not? With his humanity switched off, Stefan manipulates Matt into ringing the bell. Matt nearly does it 12 times, but stops at 11. Still, that's enough to open the doorway and allow Cade to physically cross into the world. And he has not been impressed with how his new servants have been doing. Everything is just a mess, so Bonnie and Enzo try to keep the bell safe by running off together, a little romantic road trip before the chaos.
Oh, is it a romantic getaway for us? Hell of a gesture.
Meanwhile, Cade kills Sybil and Celine and gives Damon a new ultimatum. Kill 100 evil strangers or let Caroline die. Why? Your guess is just as good as mine, to be honest. Damon, with his humanity back on, decides to outsmart the devil himself. He hatches a plan to kill Cade, but Cade shows that he can't be killed. He literally sets himself on fire and rips out his own heart just to prove a point. Caroline then steps in with a risky new plan, to use the cure from Elena's veins against Cade. But it turns out that Stefan had already been given the same ultimatum by Cade. Kill 100 strangers or kill Elena. Humanity-less Stefan chooses Elena, reasoning that she's the reason Damon's humanity is returning. If Elena dies, Damon will never forgive Stefan, and that, in Stefan's twisted logic, means freedom. On his way to Elena's safe house, Stefan changes the house ownership, locking Enzo out and giving himself the upper hand. Then, in one of the show's most brutal moments, he kills Enzo right in front of Bonnie, ripping out his heart. It's devastating, not just for them and for Bonnie, but for me. She can't have anything. She can't have anything nice. In her grief and rage, Bonnie injects Stefan with the cure, stripping him of his vampirism. Later flashbacks reveal the truth about the Founder's Bell. It was obviously originally spelled by the Bonnet Coven to wipe out all vampires, but the sirens corrupted it, nearly wiping out the Bennett witches instead.
Plan to kill the devil.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
But what if I told you I had a better idea?
Chapter 3 picks up with the bells ringing, unleashing another surprise. Kai Parker is back. Because of course he is. He makes a deal with Damon and Alaric, help him escape hell, and he'll destroy Cade with a special weapon. Oh, and maybe even wake Elena. But Kai, being Kai, betrays them, siphons Damon's vampirism, steals Elena's coffin, and vanishes. Cade then forces Damon into another impossible choice, Elena's soul or Stefan's. Again, why? Like I said, your guess is just as good as mine. Eventually, Damon sacrifices himself, only for Bonnie to step in and fight Cade directly. This allows Stefan to kill Cade with the weapon, freeing Damon's soul. It's a lot. At this point, even the show seems like it's tired of itself. Kai tries to kill Alaric's twins, because of course he does, but is eventually banished back to a new prison world. But before he goes, he drops the bombshell. Everything has been a distraction set up by the one and only Katherine Pierce, who wants revenge and is on her way back from hell.
Cade's not running hell. Who is?
The baddest bitch of all.
Katherine.
The final chapter begins with the gang preparing for Katherine's return. To kill her, they'll need a dagger made from her own bones, because apparently that's how it works now. To lure her out, they stage Stefan and Caroline's wedding. Caroline doesn't show, but Matt's mom, Kelly, crashes instead. She kills Matt's dad and reveals she's helping Katherine set Mystic Falls up for destruction with Hellfire. But who's ringing the bell this time? None other than Vicky Donovan. Yes, really, because they needed to bring her back too one last time. The town braced for annihilation, but Bonnie, with the power of the Bennett witches behind her, manages to redirect the Hellfire through the Armory tunnels and send it back to hell. The cost, however, is Stefan. He sacrifices himself and Katherine, fighting peace with Elena before she's finally awoken. In the last moments, we see where everyone ends up in a flash forward. Matt Donovan, the only human left, becomes sheriff. Bonnie decides to live her life to the fullest, living Mystic Falls, traveling the world, conveniently starting with Africa with the ghost Enzo by her side. And again, really? You take away her one true love and hand her a travel brochure for everything she's done. Just adding 1,000,000 points to the fuck the writers count. Don't get angry. Don't get angry. Alaric and Caroline open a boarding school for the young and gifted supernatural children funded by Klaus. Elena and Damon become human, marry, and live happily ever after before reuniting with their loved ones in the afterlife. Stefan, Jenna, John Gilbert, the whole crew gets their neat little closure.
We survived that night. Mystic Falls is safe.
And honestly, watching it again, I wanted to throw up. The finale felt rushed, sloppy, and careless, like the writers just wanted it to be over and done with. After 8 seasons of twists and heartbreaks, we deserved so much better. What an utter letdown. I cannot stress how disappointed I was. That being said, I obviously have to rank season 8 at number 8. Terrible all around, unnecessarily convoluted and clunky, pretty shit acting, everyone looks so over it and far too old to be playing the characters they say they are. The ending actively pisses me off and makes my blood boil, if you can't tell already. Just a boo all the way around.
Because you want to be with me as much as I want to be with you. Send me away, Jeremy.
So with the recap done and out of the way, let's get into the juiciest part, the relationships. I know I barely covered them in the recap, but just like a true teen drama show, everyone has been with everyone, except for Bonnie, of course. So it's a bit of a messy triangle. First, I'm going to do some honourable mentions that I think should have been canon, but weren't. And then I'll go into the actual substantial relationships that were a significant part of the show.
Do you have any idea what I'd have to go through if you'd have died today, huh?
First being Damon and Bonnie. Honestly, I get the whole friendship thing, and I get that not every male and female character that has chemistry and has a good friendship need to take it to a romantic level, but I would have loved to see it. I think it would have been nice to see their intense friendship that developed later on blossom into something romantic, and then when Bonnie had lived a life and died, he could continue with Elena, because they're always swapping around anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Like, if Elena can date Damon's brother, then Damon can date Elena's best friend. I'm sorry.
She's my oldest friend. Nothing romantic, ever.
I know some people may like me to include Stefan and Lexi here, but as I said before, not every male-female friendship needs to blossom into something more. I think their friendship was really beautiful and pure, and it didn't need more, so I'm leaving them out of this part.
Well, it does bother me. You bother me.
This one might be a bit controversial or out of nowhere. I really would have loved to have seen Klaus and Bonnie. Hear me out, here are my reasons. Klaus has such a thing for witches, and Caroline already had enough love interests. She didn't need more. I would have loved to see Klaus having a soft spot for a bonnet witch. Like, he had things for witches, like that's canon. So why not throw him Bonnie's way? It would have been cute. I would have loved to have seen Luke get a romantic interest, not just potentials named off camera that we never see. I would have loved to have seen him in something romantic and something displayed on our screen, similar to the way almost every character has been given. Like, even his sister got Tyler, so why couldn't Luke get something just as visible?
Wanted to feel your hand on my chest.
Something not right about him.
It's not used to guys hitting on you.
Another one that might be slightly controversial, but I would have loved to have seen the enemies to lovers done with Kai and Bonnie. I know he put her through hell and basically tormented her for all his time on the show, but if he had gone from that immense hate to him passionately loving and caring for her, especially after he absorbed Luke and had a bit of empathy and had slightly more of a conscience, I would have loved to have seen him then develop feelings for Bonnie and they have a little fling. Yeah, shoot me. But I saw the vision.
I love you, Stefan. We will be together again. I promise.
And lastly, also maybe a bit controversial, but I would have loved to have seen Stefan and Katherine have a genuine second chance. Like, I'm sorry, if Klaus can get a redemption arc, and if Damon can get a redemption arc, and basically every other villainous man on the show gets a redemption arc, why can't Katherine? It sounds like a bit of misogyny to me. Honestly, I think she genuinely cared about him and genuinely loved him. One of the very, very, very few people on the show that she cared about, so why not? And Stefan felt for her before, so he can feel for her again. I really would have loved to seen them have a genuine shot. Another missed opportunity.
I proposed to Caroline because I fell in love with her. And she said yes because it made sense for the kids.
Then there is Alaric and Caroline. This one is a little bit complicated and, in all honesty, hella gross. Caroline carried Joe and Alaric's twins, and over time, Alaric developed real feelings for her. And mind you, he was her high school teacher not too long ago. They even got engaged, though Caroline admitted she wasn't in love with him. She said yes, mainly for the kids, but they even moved in together to make things easier. Eventually, Alaric broke it off because he knew her heart belonged with Stefan. So yeah, I wouldn't even say it was a romance. It was more of a roommate / co-parenting deal and him catching feelings for his ex-student, sorry.
Yeah, I'm fine.
First, we have Jeremy and Anna, who lasted for about 3 months. They had one of the most tragic, short-lived romances. Jeremy met Anna in season 1. She was the daughter of one of the tomb vampires, and he started off as her personal blood bank, which honestly is such a Mystic Falls way to flirt. But then, oops, feelings got involved. Just as things were heating up, Anna was murdered, and Jeremy had an overdose by taking Elena's pills to ease his pain, I think. When he wakes up, he can see Anna as a ghost and even feel her. And yes, Jeremy actually cheated on Bonnie with a ghost. The blatant disrespect to my girl. But I can kind of hear it because he never got any closure. Not that I'm saying it's okay. He eventually comes to his senses and accepts that he can't date someone who technically doesn't exist and sends her off to find peace with her mother in the afterlife.
Basically a bachelor pad. Shouldn't we do something a little bit more bachelor patty?
Then there is Caroline and Matt. They were the definition of let's give it a shot. Childhood friends, cute vibes. It was very sweet, very innocent, very high school. Until Caroline turned into a vampire and things got messy fast. She knew Matt couldn't handle her new reality, and she was right. After a lot of heartbreak and some compulsion, Caroline made the grand gesture of apology and they were back on. That is, until Matt saw her as a vampire, and yeah, he just couldn't bear to be with her.
Overnight, you turn into this hot guy who's really sweet and...
You think I'm hot?
Then there was Bonnie and Jeremy. Bonnie, my queen, why did you settle for Elena's baby brother? Bonnie and Jeremy's relationship time period is a bit rocky to figure out. Their relationship blossomed in season 2, but Bonnie was hesitant to pursue her feelings because Jeremy is, well, Elena's younger brother. The relationship hit a stop when Jeremy cheated and kissed Ghost Anna. Then in season 4, the relationship started up again, but this time with Bonnie as a ghost. She was unable to physically be with Jeremy until Katia made her the anchor to the other side so she could be in both places at once. With the complex story of the other side being destroyed, Bonnie was brought back, but before she could say goodbye to him, which, like I mentioned earlier, pissed me the fuck off. It was sweet, but it was never built to last. I know a lot of fans out there weren't here for them as a couple, but I have to say, I low-key fell for them. I think it's because, throughout most of the show, he was the only one to genuinely care about Bonnie and her survival. Even though he did cheat, like, I'll take my crumbs of Bonnie happiness where I can.
It was an amazing escape. I take back all my insults about your driving.
Nora and Mary Louise. They started dating in the 1800s when their type of relationship was forbidden. Having returned to modern times, they became more open about their relationship. After being captured by the armory for 3 years, they got engaged, only to be marked by rain or cruise. Literally the ultimate ride or die couple. Nora and Mary Louise loved each other for over a century, through repression, battles, and vampire nonsense. And their end, they went out together, Bonnie and Clyde style, blowing themselves up to stop Raina. Heartbreaking, but kind of powerful. Unfortunately, I didn't really have any strong feelings about them. And to be honest, Nora could do better. I low-key found Mary Louise annoying, and I hated the fact that she didn't believe Valerie as being a victim of Julian. That was like the final straw for me. But I digress.
Let me guess. She told you to get out of the classroom, live a little.
We're being set up. Okay.
Alaric and Joe were the definition of don't get too attached. Alaric had his fair share of romances, but none stuck quite like Joe. The relationship was so wholesome, so pure. Joe was grounded, funny, and gave Alaric something real after so much tragedy. They were engaged, expecting twins, and actually looked happy. They were going to move away and just live their life of peace and sanity. But then Kai, the ultimate wedding crasher, stabbed Joe and their unborn babies to death. Honestly, it was one of the most devastating moments in the entire show. R.I.P. Joe, R.I.P. my heart.
What is your problem? You're pissed that I brought someone?
Why would I be pissed? You brought a date. You're dating. That's awesome.
Okay, should I not be dating?
Hey, you're horny all the time, right? I mean, a guy has needs.
If I shouldn't be dating, all you gotta do is say something. If you don't say something, then I'm gonna keep dating.
What would I say?
Then there was Caroline and Tyler, who started dating in season 3. The start of their love story was a bit chaotic, but still heartwarming. She helped him through his werewolf curse, and he developed feelings first, but Caroline still had feelings for Matt at the time. So when things eventually finally ended with Matt, Tyler confronted Caroline about her jealousy at Elena's party and kissed her. They hooked up, and boom, couple status. They had passion, no doubt, but then Klaus entered the chat. Tyler got tired and everything just blew up. Honestly, the relationship had potential, but Mystic Falls said, nah.
You can't kiss me again. It's not right.
That's right. Just not right now.
Then there was Damon and Elena, the ultimate will they, won't they. Damon went from evil vampire who kills anyone for fun to evil vampire who kills anyone except those Elena cares about for fun. Damon and Elena went from enemies to best friends to lovers. When Stefan started to realize Elena was falling for his brother, he gave her the ultimate choice between them. Elena was hesitant to accept her feelings for Damon at first, but thanks to the sire bond, the relationship was confirmed in season 4. Like many other couples in the show, their love story wasn't easy. It was messy, passionate, and complicated. When it was revealed that Damon was originally the brother to first meet Elena, it cemented their fated love. So I guess I got to give it to them for that. Yeah, sure. Even when Elena was put in her coma, Damon never gave up on her. In the end, they live out their lives together as humans, sending the interesting message that sometimes the bad boy really does get the girl. Not to be a complete loser, I'll accept defeat. Yes, Elena fans, you won. You got it. Congratulations. Round of applause.
Look at me. Look at my face. Look at my face. Shh, shh. Look.
Then there's Caroline and Stefan. This one may have been a big surprise for some, but not for me, because I peeped it early. Caroline and Elena started off as friends, but over time, their bond grew into something much deeper. Stefan was there for her hardest moments, when she turned into a vampire, when her mother died, and once he let Elena go, that potential started to grow. Every time Stefan was heartbroken, Caroline was always there for him, and then they finally admitted their love for each other. Their romance was sweet and beautiful. Their slow burn was chef kisses. Up until, of course, the Vampire Diaries decided happiness wasn't allowed for some. Stefan sacrificed himself, leaving Caroline heartbroken yet again. I would say justice for Steroline, because they deserve the honeymoon, not a funeral.
But I don't want you to do it alone. It's you and me, Stefan. Always.
Then there was Elena and Stefan. I'm sorry, but the scene where they realize that he needs human blood in his system to be strong, and Elena offers her blood, no one, and I mean absolutely nobody, could have convinced me during my first watch that that was not the epitome of romance. Nobody. Oh, I was living. Oh, Stelena, the OG couple, the high school sweetheart fantasy. Stefan and Elena were the heart of the early seasons. From the first comic kiss, the relationship felt like a fairy tale, until it didn't. Between vampire drama, doppelganger destiny, and Damon's growing feelings for Elena, things got a bit messy. They had so many ups and downs, but eventually, a sired Elena realized her heart belonged to Damon. But still, Stelena will always be iconic.
You could die in there. If I had to survive you, I can't bear the thought.
And then there was Bonnie and Enzo. And this was a love story. I don't know how, but one day I will avenge them, okay? Enzo and Bonnie started off unlikely, but grew into one of my absolute favorite couples on the show. Enzo was toxic before, but with Bonnie, he was loyal, devoted, and just head over heels. The chemistry was unreal. I mean, just look at the material. I can't show the full clip because of copyright stuff, but if you can, just watch that backstory episode. I promise you it's what you need. He was fiercely devoted to her. She softened him, and they genuinely made each other better. It was clear that Enzo was the love of Bonnie's life, but the relationship hit a rough road when Enzo was put under the control of Sybil. Imagine Bonnie finally getting him back, only to lose him in the final season. The writers having Stefan, one of Bonnie's friends, kill Enzo in front of her is low-key anti-black and anti-woman. And I don't care, no one can convince me otherwise. The writers just hated her that much. Honestly, Bonnie deserved better. I might do a separate video on how much she deserved better. But let me know in the comments if you want to see that, because I will be willing to make it. As you can tell, the passion is there. Yeah, so that's it. 8 seasons, 171 episodes, and a whole lot of tears later. The Vampire Diaries was a show about many things: love, grief, forgiveness, and sacrifice. It was a show that was about so much more than a love triangle. And with all its flaws, it gave us some unforgettable characters, some shocking twists, and moments that broke and healed our hearts. Its legacy lives on in its complex characters, its rich supernatural mythology, and its 2 spin-off shows, one being great, that is the originals, and the other not so great, that being legacies. What was your favourite season, and what moment got you the most? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more recaps. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell, and if you're still wondering whether Damon or Stefan was the better choice, well, that debate lives on forever. But you can check out my other TVD video for my very clearly biased thoughts. That's it for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!